Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another Monday this and that video where it's just a weekly vlog that I do talking about whatever's going on around here, trying to keep you more current on various things, to answer questions that may have come in the past week on other videos, and also leading you back to any single topic videos I have that might be helpful to you right now. All right, so let's get started on the topics of today. I want to start first with this book because I meant to mention it in last week's This and That video, and then even though it was sitting right here, I still spaced it. But anyway, this book was written by Sherry Shadler, and she has been a long-time follower of our channel. She also had quite a few photos in that last photo collaboration I put out, or the only one I put out so far. There'll be more coming, and that was the craft collaboration. And she sent me a quilt square. She's just been very, very involved in the channel. But anyway, she wrote this book, and it's for kids. And I wanted to show you, it's about a family that farms, a family that she knows, actually, that's actually neighbors to them. And lots of great images in here. So I thought this would be a really great book to read to the grandkids. I think they're going to love this. So Sherry, if you're watching this, thank you so much for sending this book. I really believe my grandbabies are going to like this book quite a bit, and I like the premise of it, the storyline, the photos. It's just really great. And by the way, Sherry does have, I know she has at least one YouTube channel out that's specifically for kids, and I will try to link that in the description box down below, and you can check that out. So then let's talk about the quilt squares. So I'm getting back to this, still getting quilt squares in. Thank you everybody who's being a part of this. And by the way, if you're new to all this, what I'm doing is putting together a Rain Country Crazy quilt. So it's just whoever wants to be a part and can be a part. People are sending me some quilt squares. In fact, one lady even sent me one that was made by her aunt years ago, and so it doesn't even have to be made specifically by you if you want to be a part. But just know, if you can't, so you don't, it's not a requirement. Don't feel guilty or bad if you can't. It's just something for fun I'm doing and putting together this quilt so I can have something as a memorial. And we're getting closer. I got a good batch of quilt squares in last week, and don't feel rushed. I don't mind it taking time to get to it. I'm not in that big of a hurry, though I'm excited at seeing it come together. And the specifications are 10-inch completed squares, which means they should have a front and a back. They should be completely quilted. The only thing not finished are the edges. So this one was one of the ones I got in this last week, and I thought it was really cute. They're canned items. So we got some canned apples, we got some canned blueberries, and some strawberry jam. So, and I actually had it pretty much all figured out. I just wasn't sure if that was strawberry or raspberry until she told me. And then Linda had sent me 3 squares that she made. They're all very similar. But the thing that makes these special is that she embroidered her name on this one, like that, because that's the other thing. If you have a channel name, a homestead name, or even just your name, I'd love it if you embroidered your name on there, or even just hand wrote it on there with permanent marker. And whatever you want to put in there. It's all about making it about you, not about me. Even though I'm going to put the quilt together, I want it to represent you in some way. And so that's why this was actually pretty special too, because Linda also made a square in honor of her mother and her grandmother, who have long since passed away. And I really, really love that. So I'll be using all 3 of those in there. And thank you, Linda, for that. And I do try to show the squares every time I get them in the videos. And we didn't get to the post office this last week, so there could be some more in there, and I'll try to keep you updated on that. Right now I'm looking at, I think, trying to get a total of 48 squares, and I think I'm pretty much right at halfway there. I haven't counted them recently, but I think I'm halfway there. And I'm just going to initially I was going to try to make a queen size quilt, then decided no, I just want a lap quilt, something I can have more out to use in either the game room or the living room where more people will see it, and because I have enough quilts for our beds. So anyway, it's just a quilt that I can just to honor all my subscribers that can be a part, but it's going to represent all of you guys. So remember that when you're making those quilt squares, because not everybody can sew, not everybody has the time, not everybody even has the resources to be able to put something together, and I totally understand that. However, There are other collaborations. I'm going to be doing several different photo collaborations, and it's really fun. So I'm going to close the fermenting collaboration this week. So you have to the end of this week, which will be August, whatever the date will be. I'll put it right here to get your photos in, and then I'm going to start putting that video together so I can have that out in a few weeks. Probably early September it will come out, and that is the fermenting one. So try to get good quality pictures and make them look as nice as you can and nice and clear. That's really important, because the way that I do that, I am probably not going to put a description of every single picture because I want to put a name in there too. It is a lot of work just having the overlays, because I got to have the background for some, and I'm trying to get people's names in there, and either way I still have to have an overlay so the name will show up, and then to also try to add a description of all the different things is just going to be a little bit too much. I'll explain at the beginning of the video what most of the items are. Right now mostly what I'm getting is vinegar photos, and that's fine. But if you got anything else that you fermented, whether it be kimchi or other types of fruits and vegetables that you fermented, wine, natural sodas, anything that you fermented based off my videos, and even if you've made bread using my fermentation starter, just go ahead and send me those photos and to raincountryhomestead@gmail.com. And then the next collaboration after that will be the garden one. So start thinking about making sure you're getting some good garden photos that you can include in that collaboration. So I'll start putting that one together. Don't send me those photos yet. Well, you can send them to me now. I do actually put things in folders. So you can start sending me your garden photos now. So now let's move on and answer a couple of questions based on some videos that came out recently. I had the dehydrating ground meats video that came out fairly recently. I've had a few questions. Sometimes I just simply forget to say stuff in videos because I've said it so many times in other videos that I think I've said it and I just forget. And one of those things is, yes, you can use parchment paper. If you don't have silicone trays or anything else to use in your dehydrator to put your ground meat on, parchment paper is a great option. I've never personally used it, which is one of the reasons I don't always think to say that. But I know a lot of people say that they use parchment paper when they're dehydrating. The reason I have an issue with parchment paper is simply because it's a disposable item. You can only use it so many times and you have to throw it away, where the silicone trays are something you can use pretty much forever. But I do understand if you have parchment paper on hand, you want to get this project done now, you can't afford to buy the silicone trays, I get it. Some people use even metal trays that will fit inside their dehydrator, some kind of cookie sheet or something. If it fits in there, yeah, whatever works. Go ahead and use it. The other thing about the ground meats is that, yes, you can season them however you want if you choose. As long as everything's dehydrating together, that's fine. I typically, when it comes to canning or dehydrating things and putting it up, I almost always leave things plain, unless I'm canning up chili, obviously, or spaghetti sauce, things like that, or soups, anything like that. Yes, I'm going to season all those things so they can be used right out of the jar. But when it comes to pretty much everything else, such as tomatoes, when I can tomatoes, I always leave them plain because I have many different uses for them. So I like to process them so they can easily be turned into a sauce. Don't add any seasonings because I might be using it as an Italian sauce. I might be using it in making enchiladas, where you're going to use seasonings to give it a more Mexican flavor. You know, your cumin, your chili powder, and so on. Or I might even be using it to make a homemade barbecue sauce. So I have videos on all these kind of things, by the way, that you can find on my channel. I may not link them all below, but remember, you can do a search right on my channel or even in the YouTube search bar by simply putting Rain Country and then putting the item you're looking for. Barbecue sauce, spaghetti sauce, or Italian sauce. If you're on Rumble, then your search would be Rain Country Homestead, all one word, then your search criteria. Because on Rumble, it's not Rain Country, it's Rain Country Homestead, one word. So yeah, if you choose, you want to season your meats before you dehydrate them up, go right ahead and do that. It's going to be perfectly fine depending on how you're using it. I just like things to stay neutral so I can use them in various types of dishes, because I don't want to put Italian seasonings in the hamburger if I'm not always going to use it in spaghetti sauce. It wasn't so much a question, but something I wanted to bring up is that, well, there was a question, as some people were asking if diatomaceous earth and bentonite clay were the same thing. No, they're not. While they do have very similar benefits, they're not the same thing. They're very different, in fact. You know, one is One is more of a powdery substance made from fossilized plankton, where the other one is actually a clay. And you can tell that for sure by when you add water to it. The bentonite clay will just immediately absorb that water and it turns to clay, where the diatomaceous earth will stay loose and it doesn't turn to clay. Well, you can make it thick by adding less water, but you'll notice the difference, because bentonite clay will just keep absorbing water. And it's actually the way that it absorbs is one of the ways that it's a very powerful, even though a lot of people were talking about how diatomaceous earth can remove metals from the body, and I believe it does, I believe that bentonite clay is actually a better choice if you're really trying to detoxify from heavy metals, because of the way it binds the metals and carries them out of the body. So, but diatomaceous earth is also very cleansing and just can flush a lot of stuff out of the body. Then you also have charcoal. Charcoal also is good at helping to detoxify the body. Usually used if in accidental poisoning, it can be taken to help grab that poison and carry it out of the body. They all have their different benefits, but they all have very, very close similarities. I haven't done a video yet on activated charcoal, but I have done one, which I will someday. I have done one on bentonite clay. It's, I think, a few years old now, which I'll go ahead and link to that down below, where I talk about how I use that. I'm only shooting one video today, so this is how it works. A lot of you already know this, but my this and that videos and my garden update videos are the most, when you see them, they're about 3 days old. But the rest of my videos are going to be at least 3 weeks old. And Patrick's videos, they could be months before I get around to editing them. So it's just part of the way I do things. So today's Thursday that I'm shooting this video. Always shoot my this and that videos on a Thursday, once in a rare occasion on a Friday, and then my garden videos, if I'm doing a garden update video that week or a tour where I focus specifically on the garden, those I shoot on Saturdays. Well, that's not going to happen this week. So as such, I won't have a garden update video coming out this week. And the reason why is this is the weekend, and by the time you're seeing this video, it's already going to be done. But my family's coming from various places, and they're going to camp out at our property just up down the road here. So we've been Patrick's been spending for the past few weeks, he's been out at the property every single day, adding stuff, making it really nice out there, cleaning things up. You know, a lot of different projects he's had going on, you know, sawing lumber and cutting firewood and taking out some trees. And so he's been trying to get all that cleaned up. That tank that we got for the water collection for our other piece of property outside of town, he had to get something rigged up for that so he could get it back up on a trailer to be able to move it out of the way. Oh my gosh, so much work to do out there. And the first of the family to come is arriving tonight. So I'm only shooting one video today. Normally Thursdays I shoot 2, and then Saturday I may or may not shoot 1, and then Sundays I usually shoot 2, and then sometimes on Friday I'll shoot a video. So it just depends. So, well, this is the last video I'm going to shoot until next Thursday. So I've got a whole week I'm not going to be shooting videos. And I'm explaining this for several reasons so you can understand these various different, why you might be watching a new video like the one that just came out today, the day I'm shooting this, and that is the one on the things we put our trust in. Well, I shot that in the middle of July. So it might confuse people, but that's because I stay ahead on my videos for this very reason. So when something comes up, be it arranged or unplanned, I can take some time off and just enjoy my family like I plan on doing this weekend. But this one I had to squeeze in here and get edited and try to get it up so that, because I like to give myself a couple of days at least to be able to edit a video, because you never know, I get all kinds of interruptions and sometimes I can't finish a video in a single day, shoot and edit it in the same day. But I will be doing another update on the Rain Country Retreat just down the road, so you can see, so I can put together all the various things that we've done differently, even since I shot that video a month or 2 ago. And which I will link to down below so you can watch that one now. But then with all the other additions and different things going on, I'll be doing an update on that because I think it'll be fun. So I'm saying all that also to say there's not going to be a garden video coming out this week, but I am putting up one of the videos that Patrick did on when he put in the tetherball pole, how he basically built the pole and put it into the ground and so on. So that was one of the new features to the property out there. So that's coming out on Wednesday. And hopefully the following Wednesday, next Wednesday, I should have another garden tour update coming. But as such, since that's not happening, I'll just give you a few quick updates on what is going on in the garden. And that is, even though my zucchini is about 6 weeks behind, not just a month, but 6 weeks, I am finally getting some fruit on my zucchini. It took so long because the weather was so cold. It doesn't matter that I started it all the same time I always do. And the funny thing was, last year it was at least a few weeks behind, but by this time last year, even though the zucchini was late last year because it was cold last year too, it wasn't as cold as this year, and I was covered up in zucchini by this time last year, and I'm just now starting to see some fruit form. So at least I'm getting it. It seems like no matter what, we can still get zucchini. It's just gonna be late, but it looks like I might still get a lot. Even though I lost one of my 4 plants, I like to grow a lot of zucchini because I dehydrate up a lot to use it in many different things. And that's my favorite thing to do with it. But I have a couple of different videos I've done over the years about the many uses for zucchini. I did one a few years ago, and that one keeps resurfacing, even though I had so many more ideas that I did later. So I'll link to that one, plus the one I did after that where I came up with a whole bunch more ideas, plus the one I did last year where I did the pineapple and the black cherry zucchini and canned it up. I'm going to do that again, at least the pineapple. The black cherry was good. I'd say I like the pineapple better, but especially served with cottage cheese. So I'll link to that video down below as well. And I'm going to do some more of that, even if I'm the only one that eats it. It is a nice treat to have through the year. Jackson loved it when I was sharing some of that with him. He loved that. It didn't matter if it was the black cherry or the pineapple. But yes, you can get creative and use any juice you want. It doesn't have to be pineapple zucchini. It can be whatever flavor you want it to be. So anyway, I'll be linking to those videos down below, and let's see what else. I've been finally starting to pick beans, a month behind, just like everything else, at least a month behind, but at least they're coming in. I'm getting some mature beans, starting in the covered area and then in the pot up here on the deck. Places where it's been most protected from the cold or where I'm finally getting mature beans. And just so you know, that covered area, that was the very last place I planted beans, yet it was the first place to actually get mature beans. So that just kind of goes to show you, it's definitely been, because the cold, the long extended cold, it's just slowed so many things down. But thankfully, a lot of things are looking good. Most of my perennial herbs are just right on time. My currants have been right on time. The grapes are a little behind, but it seems like they're catching up quickly. So not really that much behind, because it seems like they're just going berserk, and the grapes are looking really good. And let's see, the tomatoes are behind, but I'm getting lots of nice looking tomatoes out there, some nice good sized tomatoes. And I wouldn't even say, I think they're almost catching up to where they should be. Not quite, but because I should have had some ripe tomatoes by now, but that's okay. At least I'm getting them, and I'm just now getting flowers on my hot peppers. Usually by now I have hot peppers, but whatever, at least everything's still growing, and I'm excited about that. And the snow peas are still putting out. They're actually filling in better than they were when I was talking about them before a couple of weeks ago, and putting out quite a bit now. So it's good. I think we're catching up. And then I have a new little section of snow peas. It's kind of a test section I'm trying out. And I'm starting to get flowers on that. I planted it way later than my other ones, but I just want to see what they do. And so who knows, I might get plenty of snow peas from there too. And it's not just about the snow peas we put up for ourselves, but I also like to save the seeds for us, but also to put up on our store, because I love those snow peas. They've been some of the best ones I've grown. There's a lot more going on I'll talk about in other garden videos or in next week's this and that, but I need to close this out so I can get busy editing and getting some other stuff done before the family shows up. And any other questions or things you'd like to share in response to anything I talked about, go ahead and put those in comments down below. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.